Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Musicians Hangout with your host, Crash Fistpipe, the Booty Pop Moopsie, and Maxine Maxwell of the Maxwell.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It is so great to be back. We are just connecting with our guests right now. So I'll go over our mission statement and introduce to you the guests we have for tonight. All right. Our mission statement here on Musicians Hangout is to be part of a revolution to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. We welcome Jim Yates of the Neon Angels.
Hey, of like a million bands. Thank you for having me. I got my drumsticks with me.
Oh my gosh, Jim, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thank you. I'm a big fan of all the female drummers out there. So
hell yeah, we are too.
It's all three female drummers right now.
Right?
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
Drummer showcase.
Yep, here we are. Drummer girls unite.
Drummer girls unite.
Hell yes.
And
Drummer girls
shout out
unite.
to Tammy Mitchell Woods. It was just about three or 4 years ago. I think it was 2019 October. I got to meet her in Nashville, and we did a bunch of selfies and got to speak on a stage about female drummers and that documentary we were both in.
I love that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and we've stayed in touch, by the way. We both have had health issues. And
nice.
as you know, she
yes.
has some health issues. I've had some health issues since. So we just reached out to each other several times over the past few months and have talked pretty exclusively about maybe doing something together on drumming and health, because I think we're like the poster kids of female drumming and health.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. You are. Yes.
It's crazy. It's weird. Well, I didn't mean to be. It just happened.
Talking about that when we were off screen, before we started live with you, we were talking about that journey and what you've been through with your neck. I can't believe how far you've come just since I found you. Like, I think we started each other 2-3 years ago. And when I started following you, you had found out about your neck injury that you didn't even know about.
Yeah, right. Yeah. To tell people, if anybody's in watching, about a little bit about what happened to me, is I'm a drummer of 42 years. I've been teaching drums for 17 years to kids. And at one point I had like 40 kids a week. I was working exclusively at a drum shop, teaching drums, and all kinds of percussion and reading and stuff like that. I had been playing my whole life. I had been on a drum set since I was 2 years old, and my father was a drummer. So he put me on a kit when I was very young. So I started, in bands by the time I'm like 11. I'm playing out by the time I'm like 11. Bands by the time I'm 13, 14, and then, my first gig was opening for Tim McGraw in country music. So I've had some really amazing experiences growing up in Kentucky. But I was living in Louisville, Kentucky for about the past 23 years. I have not lived there in the past year and a half now.
Right.
And I had been playing as a side drummer, in all these bands. I would go to the blues jams. I would love jams, because you're just free to have fun and you get to meet other players. I've always done theater and orchestra on the side. There were sometimes I would do 3 to 4 orchestra pieces or musicals a year, and then I was touring with Kelly Ritchie and all these people on the side, Beverly McClellan, Freak Bass, there's a whole bunch of them. But either way, I had a house band there in Louisville too. That was kind of like the all-female party band. And it was great in my 20s. And the only thing I would say is the downfall was allowing my personal life to come into the forefront with my musical career. And what I mean by that is when you have a lot of people that you are playing with and that's your norm, my personal life, I was pretty free and dating around, and that life crossed over with my, my professional career. And long story short, I'm going to see Fleetwood Mac for the first time ever. I was super excited. This was October of 2018. I remember it like yesterday. I I had met some friends there. We Ubered down. I was so excited. I'd never seen Stevie Nicks before live, and I'd
Oh,
never
yeah.
seen Mick Fleetwood, who is one of my
Right.
all-time favorite drummers. Not only this, but it's National Hug a Drummer Day. And
Yeah.
when I'm coming out of that show, I got jumped and I got punched in the head multiple times. I took a fall on concrete stairs and I
Oh my
went to the
God.
hospital and they saw contusions in my neck, which was bruising in my neck. And I kept telling everybody, my arm is numb. I can't feel my arm. And I only know this because I'm going back. A lot of my memory is gone from it, but
Oh my
there
God.
are things that I specifically remember. And
Yeah.
thanks to Facebook and social media, I can now go back and look at my memories. And I was seeing that I was posting that I was in pain for like 2 years, with body part numbness. Now, I didn't have health insurance at the time. I was just a musician.
Right.
So I had left corporate media to pursue my love of teaching music to kids, and I did that for my own mental health and just for my own happiness. And so
Right.
after that, I lived with this injury. For my best friend died, Beverly McClellan, while we were making a record with Hillbilly
Oh my
Swagger.
God.
She died 2 weeks after this incident with me. So I was not focused on my health at the time. I was focused on, oh my gosh, I've just
Yeah.
lost my best friend
Breathe.
and my musician that I talk
Yeah.
to every day that I've toured with, multiple Pride circuits, and all this stuff. And if you don't know, she was on The Voice season 1, and
Yeah.
bald lesbian chick,
Yeah.
tats all over, a badass. She was my best friend. One that I called every day and talked about music. And I could tell her about my personal problems, and she would give me great advice because she was a lot older than me. And so, I was more concerned about trying to figure out how to get her a funeral. She was in Florida, I was in Kentucky. I had to make all these arrangements, and we decided not to have her celebration of life until that following April. So, in the meantime, I'm in the music studio with another artist called Lori Joe. And so I am in excruciating pain. I'm in a little studio for 12 hours a day, drumming for 2 to 3 days, at a time. And they almost called the doctor in. I remember them saying, I was like, guys, I can't feel my arms. Like something's wrong. To play that long and have the normal feeling that you have when you play behind a kid. And then to lose that and lose over 50% of your body feeling from the neck down, and it turns out that it was this major spinal cord injury. They had my 5, 6, and 7 in my neck, which
Mhm.
each disc, I have learned so much about discs in your spine.
Oh yeah.
And
I've learned
I feel
from
like
you.
it's,
Like I didn't
well,
know
thank
all
you.
of that. Because I follow you closely, I
Mhm.
learned about that as well.
Yeah. Well, each disc in your neck or all the way down your spine controls something in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And it may,
Mm-hmm.
like your C4 controls your swallowing.
Oh.
Right? So if you injure your C4, your swallowing is affected. Things that you don't think about. Your brain and your spinal cord and your that spinal cord is the most important thing in your body, pretty much, because as we've seen in football recently, for those who watch football, these people
Mm-hmm.
who get concussions, if you see the arms like cramp up like this, that's a neuro disorder
Yeah.
it's neuro, you know what I mean? You injure that cord and you will not be able to move from the neck down. So when I finally get to the right neurosurgeon, which ends up being in 2020. So remember, I sustained the injury in October 2018, but I didn't get to the neurosurgeon until after the COVID shutdown.
Mm.
All right. So by the COVID shutdown, I am like, I can't walk. I was on a cane. I couldn't lift my drum equipment. That's one of the main ones that I remember going, wow, something is really wrong with
Yeah.
me. I
Yeah.
can't lift my drum box. And I do this all the
All
time.
the
I kept
time.
falling. And so every time I fell, I could have paralyzed myself in that 2 years. So when I get to the neurosurgeon, he says, you need to sit down. And he says, you're almost a Christopher Reeves, is what he said to me.
Oh
If you
my
don't know who
God.
Christopher Reeves is, he played Superman. He got thrown off a horse
Yep.
and was
Yeah.
paralyzed in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. He is now dead. but they have the Christopher Reeve Foundation, which I so proudly support now. And it's for
Nice.
spinal cord injury
Cheers to
victims.
that.
Yeah.
Thanks. And people who have been paralyzed, and for me not to have been paralyzed after the surgery, because there was no guarantee I would have any feeling in my body, then that was pretty crazy. I was signing my will. I was 42 at the time, so I was going through some major stuff, and he only gave me a week. He said, "Look, you can't drive, you cannot be in a car, because if you take a hit, you could paralyze yourself." We had to be super careful from that moment on, and he said, "We got to slice your neck open. We got to take the 5, 6, and 7 out. We got to put a metal cage, titanium through your neck, and hope that gets it off your spinal cord." My spinal cord fluid to my brain hadn't been flowing in 2 years. So
Whoa.
the doctor was like, "It is a miracle you have not paralyzed yourself." And I was still drumming at this time too, up until COVID.
Well,
Yeah.
So
and
I'm still lugging
drumming.
around drums.
You were drumming for all sorts of projects.
Yeah.
Lots. I mean, probably at least 5 or 6,
The
at
Kentucky
the time.
Beatniks.
So the chat's
At
blowing
the
up at you. So hug to
Yeah,
you.
I can't see the chat. Can I see the chat?
Oh, go into the comments. So click on
Okay.
comments and you'll be able to see everybody in there. And
I
Okay.
have to put my readers on because I'm old.
Rebecca
Thank
says,
you,
"Wow,
Rebecca.
glad you're doing." And we are glad too. And Dawn also, so
Oh,
sorry
Dawn.
to hear about those physical issues. I wish you the best of luck in your healing. Can you share more about your band and development of your sound, including maybe some tunes? And
Yeah.
she's got a
Which one do you want? Which project? I'm not gonna lie. I've been in this
And
business for a
we
long
can
time.
share some videos on the show if you would like.
Oh,
Yeah,
right on.
absolutely.
We'll throw you some alphabet soup up in there. That's one of my faves.
Cool.
We were just talking about that
Yes, I
before
love
it came on
that.
the air.
You got that,
One that I
Maxine?
did during the injury, I kept creating during the injury. And here's the thing, y'all know you're both drummers in bands. I couldn't play. I couldn't play from that point on, and I wasn't for sure if I was going to be able to. But in my
Yes.
mind, there was nothing that was not going to stop me from playing drums. And I was like, I'm not for sure if I'm going to be able to or not. The left arm after surgery, my left side, was completely paralyzed. I could not lift it to put my hair in a bun, and I would cry.
God.
Oh.
Yeah, so look here. I do want to show you this though. So with my hands, I have all the motor skills back. This pinky
yeah.
and this are my problem too. They, as drummers, you grip your stick. I can demonstrate. I even have my drum stuff here. So like as a drummer, you grip that stick, and like these fingers are super important, especially if you do French grip, right? So like French grip where you move your fingers, and I have all the motor skills, but I cannot feel either 2 fingers of this all the way down. And I get constant electrical shocks at my arms from my elbows to my hands. They've been on fire today because when I practice drums, they get inflamed because of the vibration. So it's painful, but at the same time, it's like I'm healing myself through my own drumming. As far as the bands, I wanted to answer the person's question. As far as the bands, I started in bands when I was like 11 years old. I was playing bars before I was even old enough to be in a bar, and they didn't know that because I was playing with a lot of older guys. I did a lot of cover music. I grew up playing country. My family from Kentucky, I'm born and bred in a little small farm town, of Columbia, Kentucky. And my dad was a drummer, so he put me on a kit when I was young. He was always in bands, always. My dad was touring by the time he was 11, so he was touring all around the state, and so he collected drums. And so there's never been a memory in my life without a drum set around or being behind one. I went on to do the cover band stuff. These guys were like a machine when I was like 13, 14. They already had the connections. They had already been playing. They were in their 30s. They already had the equipment trailer and all the mics and the PA and everything you need to be a band. They knew how to run it. So I was very fortunate to come into people who were a lot older, who knew exactly how a cover band would run. There are different elements of music. This in particular was a cover band doing like fairs, and we did fire departments and just all kinds of events. And we recently reunited for our 25th anniversary in my hometown on the square. I got to bring my dad on, and he played cowbell.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
and I got to open for Doug Stone, who is a big country music guy in the 80s. And
That's awesome.
14,000 people showed up and watched it. So that was a wow moment.
Crazy.
But as
Oh,
far as that, I go to Louisville. I played in a punk band, all female projects, mostly in the '90s, called The Confessional. And then I did a record with them, and I was always playing with like 5 or 6 people at the same time. And then it got to where I was teaching, during the day. Oh, there you go. And I've played in so many bands, theater bands, toured with
gotcha.
theater.
I had it
Yeah.
queued up too. I didn't know you were doing it. I have it.
You're cracking me up. Oh Lord. So can I preface what they're about to see?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
okay. So I've been out for at least 29 years. I've played a lot of the Pride circuits. I've done a lot of female music, house drumming, like at Michigan Women's Music Festival before it closed down. I was the house drummer for the last few years. Ohio Women's Music Festival, things like that. I always wanted to put as an independent artist, which is a rarity for me, I'm kind of going in that direction. Because I always wanted to be a Sheila E. Sheila E. has her own band. She can do anything she wants. So I wanted to be my own artist.
Hold on. Dang it.
Yeah, so we did this during COVID. I'm poking fun at all the letters in the LGBTQAI plus because I get lost after the T. And all my gay friends that I was talking to at the time, of course, I'm 45. So I'm a little bit older. A lot of people think I'm younger, but I'm older. I've been around the block a few times and fought for a lot of rights and all that stuff. But I wanted to poke fun at the letters because nobody knows who invents these letters. They don't know why they put them in the order they did. And then why are we keep adding in, I wrote it and they had the Q and the A and the I, and then there was a plus. So I was like, well, what's the plus mean? We don't know. And so I had a radio show at the time and I had a guy come in to explain to me.
I don't know what the Q,
all
the
these
I, and
letters
the A is. Like, I don't.
Okay, so Q is for queer, A is for allies or asexual, I is for intersex, and then you've got the plus, which you'll hear in the song that I make fun of.
Okay.
And I did this during my injury. So if you notice, I'm not walking. I'm almost paralyzed in this video. I didn't know I had the spinal cord injury at this time when we're making this. And I was in the country because everything shut down for COVID. So I went back home with all my friends who had property and horses and, fun things that we could at least be out on a farm, even if we couldn't go to a bar or play music. So we decided to make this video. They were all magicians. I wanted to say that, and they do magic all over the state of Kentucky, they had all this cool stuff. They had straight jackets, they had doves, they had horses, they had horse trailers, which you're about to see right in the beginning.
Yes.
We had costumes. My friend does makeup and costuming, so they did wigs on me, and I just wanted to portray both sides of myself, which is the feminine side, which I'm not super comfortable with. I very rarely do it except for music videos. This is what I look like in my norm. And then I have a very masculine demeanor. I've always said I was born in the wrong body. So this is kind of like poking fun at all of that, basically, to wrap it up.
Oh.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
I'm going to take us out and get this video
I'm going to watch
started.
the comments here.
Please identify me as Jesus. Kenya is dead. She does not exist. Rest in peace. Y'all sing the alphabet song with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, LGBTQAI+, 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 LGBTQAI+. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I met this girl and she thought that I was GTB. She didn't understand the LGBT. In the Q, the same as a G, and it all confuses me. It all confuses me. He was a she and she became a he, and it all confuses me that I am now we. And in the Q, the same as a G. And what's the fucking plus me? What's the fucking plus me? Nobody knows. From the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the D E S. From the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the D E S. Yeah. WTF and LOL and TFW and I can't spell. The T's are drop out there for you at 26 days. Everyone did the B to college, let's make no mistake. And you thought Gen X was really sad? Well, that's BANANAS. And here I am with a new X's. It's called J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. What's your pronouns? Come on, let me show you what it's all about. A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. A, B, C, and she was a he. 1, 2, 3, and he became a she. A, B, C, it all confuses me. 1, 2, 3, that I am now a we. A, B, C, is the Q the same as the G. 1, 2, 3, and what's the plus me? A, B, C, the king is now a queen. 1, 2, 3, let's be real, the P's annoy the whole fucking crew. They do. Yeah, they do. Here we go. To the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. From the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. From the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. From the J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. Oh, you thought I forgot? You thought I forgot? Here we go. L's for you, I got a lot to say, and I probably done kiss you, can't remember your name. Doesn't really matter, cause we're all the same. Attenuates with the indexes or change the game. If he's your link with the entire band, and take notes from the A, cause we know where they're at. I'll keep it rocking and make it real clear. Y'all the last of the letters, and I'm bringing up the rear. And when did they add the Q, and the A, and the I, and the plus? I don't know. I'm gay and I get lost after the T. I get lost after the T too. Are the breeders in there? Is that what the plus means? And what about my straights, y'all? Where's the S at? And shout outs to the Y, yeah. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. J to the Y to the N to the Y to the A to the DES. LGBTQAI plus. LGBTQAI plus. LGBTQAI plus. LGBTQAI plus. I hope that clears it up. I hope that clears it up, y'all. Kinda. And what the fuck does the plus mean? Nobody knows, dude. Not even the gays.
I have to laugh every time.
Absolutely my favorite song.
I'm sampling. I'm sampling the Jackson 5. Did y'all catch that?
Yes.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. You and me.
1, 2, 3. You and me.
And I'm doing it because I was like, there's a lot of letters. And by the way, just for anybody out there watching, I got the letters incorrect. They are wrong. That is not the correct order of it either. I didn't even know it until after the song came out. And then I was like, wait, I got the letters wrong. But nobody noticed. Nobody's even said a word about it. So
It just
either they're
sounded
not watching or they don't know.
good. So
Nobody, I don't think anybody really gives a crap. It's
no,
like,
I don't.
yeah, there's way too many
That was my whole
letters
thing.
now. It's just alphabet
Thank you
soup.
for
I'm
getting that.
dyslexic, so it sounded right to me. You know, like
Thank you.
I
I'm gonna
mess
use
up
that from now on.
letters in regular words and acronyms. So
Right. Yeah, I know. I make up words all the time. I mean,
I
half
do
of my
too.
songs are just made up
And I'm a
words, and
teacher and I
I
make
don't
up
know.
words. I'll call myself out. I'm like, I just made
That's
that
right.
up.
You're a teacher. I forgot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh
that
yeah.
was
No,
What
I'm
did
just
did
husking
did
shit
you
all the time.
notice we're not walking at all in that?
No, but
And
I
by the way,
love it.
that's a Bob Mackie. That's a Bob Mackie jacket. I just want to point that out. That's my favorite jacket. It's right here
Oh,
in my closet. Uh,
nice.
anytime I need to dress up, which I don't like to dress up. I'm not honestly a fan of it, but I usually dress more masculine when I do, in a tie or a cool hat. But that jacket, one of my gay guys found for me and was like, "Oh yeah," because my little gay guys love to pick out my clothes. Oh, if you're
Yeah,
gonna be
they're
on
the
stage, you need
best.
to wear this, or you need to
Seriously.
put your hair down this way. So I listened to them
Absolutely.
because they have great style, and he found me that
Yes.
jacket for $100, and it's a true Bob Mackie. If you don't
That's
know, Bob
nice.
Mackie designed for Cher and
Yes.
Gaga and Madonna, everybody. Sonny and Cher's
Wow.
show mostly though.
Oh,
Yeah. No, that's
that's
awesome.
cool. That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Anyway, also I didn't know this, but the turn back time, if I could turn back time, that video where she's wearing just the leather like to cover the
Yeah.
breasts and that V thing, that was
Yes.
very risque at the time. I was alive
Oh,
when it came
What
out.
do you
I
mean
don't
at
know if
the
y'all ever.
oh
time?
my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
at the time, I mean, it was
I'm
very
pretty
risque.
sure it's
That's
risky
Bob Mackie.
now.
He designed
Like,
that for her,
Yeah.
right? It's risque now. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Sharon
yeah.
didn't have her time, man. She
Dude,
turned back
Crash cracks me
to
up.
the
I
head
love you,
too.
Crash. You were so funny. You make me laugh so hard.
Job done.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
Anyway, Cher, we love her. Speaking of Cher,
I
just
love
because
Sharon.
y'all are drummers, all right.
mhm.
So since I've got moved to a new location, I no longer want to be in Louisville, Kentucky. It's too much PTSD for me, and it's just too much
Oh, yeah.
having to drive by the same venues and all, you know what I mean. It was a
Mhm.
whole different world after my injury, so I wanted to get out of there and get a whole fresh new start,
I bet.
Right.
especially with music. And music, I was determined to heal myself, and it's been a couple years. It's been over 2 years now since the surgery. So we're just kind of getting the ball rolling on gigging again and all that stuff. And Cher, I had seen at Bridgestone in Nashville about 2017, I think, and I had never seen Cher live. Have y'all seen Cher live? Anybody?
No,
No.
I would
Okay,
love to
so
be
I
Sharon
bet
live.
I did
she's
this whole thing.
magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
first off, I had like seventh row seats, so not bad, right? And I ran
Nice.
into some of my friends while I was there, didn't know they were going to be there. Bonus, we're having a good old time. And Cher comes on and she does all the way through the 50s till current in order of her hits. And
Nice.
she holograms in Sonny and he sings, they sing duets. Like
Oh my
it
God.
seemed like it was
What?
freaking real. I was like, what
Holy
the
shit.
heck? So when she gets into the 80s, and you got the Jesse James, Down in Flames, Boom Boom,
Yeah.
I can't remember, but if I could turn back time, the whole entire stage transforms into a huge ship, naval ship, just like the
Oh.
video. She comes out in the same outfits,
Oh,
and I mean, I was just blown away. I was so close; it was crazy. So I am a big fan of her drummer, and this is where I'm going with the story. Mark Schulman is her drummer, and he's
uh-huh.
been with her for years, and he also drums for Pink. All right.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I was a
Oh,
big fan of his. I saw
oh,
him at that concert. We'll skip to a few months ago. My drum professor, Jim Riley, down in Nashville at Belmont University, is like, "Hey, have you ever met Mark Schulman?" And I was like, "No, but I'm a huge fan." He goes, "You want to meet him?" And I was like, "Sure." So just a few months ago, I went down to the Musicians Hall of Fame in Nashville, and they were filming a show that's going to come out soon on CBS and MTV called Supergroup. And it's kind of like The Voice, but it's for musicians. And they're going to put musicians together and make them write together and make them
whoa.
perform the songs that they write.
Holy
Okay.
shit.
So
Huh?
my drum professor was the house drummer of the house band. And then Mark Schulman, Cher's drummer, is was the one of the judges. So I got to go meet him, tell him my story about the spinal cord injury, and he's super freaking amazing. It was an
Oh,
amazing experience. Yeah, how cool is that? If you watch, you'll see him doing a lot of these things online and stuff because he's really cool, and he's also a motivational speaker for
no,
like
Oh,
Fortune
nice.
500
cool.
companies.
I dig
So he
that.
makes more money doing something else than drumming for Cher or Pink. Believe it or not,
Boom.
he's pretty awesome.
He makes money making people feel good about themselves.
And when I met him, we had an interesting connection. He said, I'm from LA. And I said, oh, I've been to LA. And I got one of my major gigs was in LA. And he said, where at? And I said, Culver City. And he goes, that's where I'm from. And I said, are you familiar with the Kirk Douglas Theater? And he goes, oh, yeah, I pass it all the time. It's right next to Sony Studios, by the way. If you've never been out to LA, Sony Studios at the time had a huge rainbow over it because of The Wizard of Oz was filmed there. And across the street was the Kirk Douglas Theater. So I got to play that theater, for the musical Girlfriend. And he goes, oh, I remember that. It's a Matthew Sweet record called Girlfriend. Yeah, anyway, so we had this really cool connection, and he was very proud of me for the, getting the hand motion back.
Yeah.
These are your everything for a drummer, So
yes.
yeah. So I was like, wow, I told him I saw him play at Bridgestone with Cher, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember that gig. I'm like, can you imagine playing for Cher? You know what I mean? It would just be
that would be
amazing.
so awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my goal, I think, is heal up and then make it a major comeback, as in to find a big national artist. There's so many LGBT pro female musicians in East Nashville, and I'm talking about the Ashley Brides and
nice.
Yeah, so you people out here hearing all about these crazy bills and stuff down in Tennessee, yeah, that's going on, but also Nashville is badass. I mean,
good.
Gay, you know what I mean? They just dress like
they're just super gay.
Nashville is, a revolutionary music scene. When I thought of Nashville when I was a kid, I thought of country.
It's the Seattle of the South.
Right.
It is.
I did the same thing, and I grew up very, not very far from Nashville. So where I come from, it's hard to describe, but for your viewers, because I know you're West Coast, it's like you got Nashville. The top of Tennessee is right above Nashville, not even 30 to 40 minutes north. And then you got Tennessee or Kentucky right above it. So I'm from South Central Kentucky, and on the other side of Lake Cumberland, and Lake Cumberland splits Kentucky and Tennessee, and the Cumberland flows right in through Nashville. So I grew up super close there and playing in and out of there my whole life. Me and Bev played City Winery there. I had some beautiful gigs. I got to play with one of the Rolling Stones. Their sax player, Bobby Keys. I got to play with him there at the Mercy Lounge before he passed. Like, I had a lot of magical gigs in Nashville. And so I wanted to get down there, in Nashville. They call it Music City because it is Music City.
You're right.
If you ever need work as a drummer, girl, you can work every night of the week if you're good. You know what I mean? They're all the time hiring musicians everywhere.
Yeah, and the world's okay as a drummer.
That's right. That's right. Me too. Hey, me too.
I'm the world's
But
okay.
one thing you'll love about Nashville, though, is that just like they have like handicap parking for handicapped people, they have musician parking right in the front at almost all of their venues, and they have a sign, musician unloading, and and it is Music City. There's no venue you're going to go in without. Even their Taco Bell, y'all. Their Taco Bell on Broadway, I was just there, has a live guitar out front, says live music, and they serve margaritas. The Taco Bell.
What the fuck? I need to go to this Taco
They
Bell.
serve margaritas.
Number one, they serve margaritas at this Taco Bell. And number two, you can play
There's a live
music
band.
at this Taco Bell while having your fucking
right
margaritas.
downtown. I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it is Music City. If you're a musician, go there, and that's why they have so many there, because they, it's just, that's where you go. It used to back in the day.
Nashville is Margaritaville.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Buffett's in and out of there all the time. His band, some of his bandmates were from Louisville.
See? Margaritaville.
Mm-hmm. I got a fun little history about, I could talk about almost any musician. Crazy story. But Buffett, I got two great stories about Buffett. One was the first time I ever saw Jimmy Buffett, which I'm a huge parrot head. I will be up there, Fins, and the Cheeseburger in Paradise. I love them all. Pencil Thin Mustache is like one of my jams. It's on every playlist.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
Yeah, man. So a couple stories about Buffett. The first time I saw him, I was at Bonnaroo in Tennessee, which is like the Coachella, but it's for Tennessee. And he was the surprise guest. They would always have a surprise guest that they didn't put on the list that you didn't know was there. And they just spread word throughout camp that, hey, so and so is going to be on this stage at noon
Mhm.
tomorrow. You got to get up and go see him. And it was Buffett. And so I was like, dude, I'm going to see Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett down.
It was 12 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It was the last day of the festival. And I'm laying in the sea, trying hung over this. I was drinking back then, I don't drink anymore. And I was just hung over, laying in a field of like wasted people at noon on a Sunday watching Jimmy Buffett and everybody singing. And it was just like happiness. It was the craziest thing ever. And from that moment on, I was just like, I'm a huge fan. But a guy named Tim Krekel wrote "Son of a Sailor" and "A Pirate Looks at 40" for those two ballads, big ballads that he had. And he was a choral reefer. He was in his band, and he was from
Ooh.
Louisville, Kentucky. And he died while I was in Louisville, and I covered a lot of his shows. So I was like, I always considered myself like 1 degree, like the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees. I was 1 degree away from Jimmy Buffett.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Ah,
love
that's
me
cool.
some Buffett. And I've been to Cabbage Key Island, which is the island he wrote Cheeseburger in Paradise. And I've had the cheeseburger there, and it's amazing. If you've never
oh,
been, Cabbage Key Island off of Florida, the coast, it's an island of turtles, which you would love. I'm talking 200-pound tortoises,
those are tortoises.
and
That's not turtle.
tortoises, right? Yes, they look like they're cars. Yeah. So there's like an island, a Cabbage Key Island. You have to take a boat to get to it. You can't get to it any other way. And
Cabbage
it's got a
cake.
restaurant on it, and they serve the cheeseburger from Cheeseburger in Paradise that he wrote
How
about.
do they
He
get their
frequents this place
hamburger
all the time.
at
Yes.
this cheeseburger place?
Yes, it's Cabbage Key Island. I forget what the name of the restaurant. It may be Cabbage Key. I mean, there's only one restaurant there. It's like a very small island, but it's mostly inhabited by tortoises. And they don't injure tortoises. They let them roam free on this island, and you can go just hang out with them. They can chase you. It's crazy. I love turtles, so I was super excited about going there. And then we get there and realize it's the place that Jimmy Buffett's Cheeseburger in Paradise is written about.
Yes.
It's very famous down there. He's a Florida dude. He's off of the Keys. He loves
Right.
Key West. Yeah, which is a beautiful place if you've never been.
I've never been
I've
to
traveled a
Florida,
lot.
but my daughter lives there, so I have to go there at some
Really?
point.
Been
What
to
part
Florida,
of
but only
Florida?
like
Lee Heights. I have no idea where the hell that's at.
I don't either. I've toured there a lot with Kelly Ritchie, and then Beverly McClellan, my tour mate and best friend.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
from Hollywood, which is
Oh,
Fort Lauderdale.
yeah. Hollywood,
And
Florida.
so, yeah, and so I would go down there and we would play together a lot. And I've played all through the Keys, and there's a lot of blues history in Florida that you would love. There's a whole blues
yeah,
tour
there is a
that you
lot
can
of
do
blues
with
there.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
I
some
love Florida.
friends
I
that
know
were from
they get a bad
Hollywood.
rap. They get a bad rap politically because they are the crazy. They're like the new crazy. Like they're the
It's
crazy.
fucking Florida.
Yeah, right. Since the Gore Bush thing, I'm like, I've always known they were crazy.
It's Florida. That's all you really
Yeah,
got to say is
right.
it's
Florida. Right.
the
People go,
armpit of
oh,
America. It's fucking Florida.
right, right, exactly, exactly. You know how back in the day though, they weren't that crazy, and then now it's like they're the crazy state.
I don't know what happened, but
Politics.
too much of that suntan oil over there. I don't know what's going on.
I know what happened, but I
Windows.
ain't gonna get into it because I don't want to get into politics over here. But
Right.
I was
Oh,
working in news media during those years. I worked in news media covering politics all
I remember
through
you
the Bush
talking about
Junior
that the last
years.
time you were on the show. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
I covered
not
murder.
talking
I
about
went
it,
from
but like
murder to
mentioning.
teaching children music. That's my
Ooh.
life in a
Yeah,
Ugh.
nutshell.
that's beautiful. Like way
Thanks.
better than
Well, for someone like
politics.
me who is a true artist, and I know y'all are true artists too. Um, I may have an outer shell, but artists are usually very sensitive, and
Yes.
PTSD is a real thing. And
Yeah.
once it got to the point where when I was covering murders, that I was just numb to it. I was numb to all of it. I'd seen it so much. I'd heard about it so much. I was writing about it. I was talking about it every day for 8 hours as my job. It was just so
It's like,
tiring.
yep,
And
there's
so
another
it put
murder. This
more on
guy's
me.
got his head
And
blown
so
off.
any chance that I could play
That was
music
heavy shit, though.
was a happy thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so to me, I did it
Sharing
for my
that with
mental
kids,
health.
like teaching kids,
Yes.
Mhm.
beautiful.
I did it for my
Beautiful.
mental health. I really did.
Yeah.
And honestly, I knew that my purpose, my God given purpose on this world was to teach music to kids because that I didn't even mean to be a music teacher. I dropped out of music school because I did not want to be a music teacher, and God made me a music teacher. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even try to do it. I fell into that role, and I have learned so much from my students, and then it
Oh,
just kept
yes, you
growing and it
do.
kept
You learn
growing,
from
and
them
then the next thing
too.
you know, I don't ever seek out students ever, hardly ever do I. Will you ever see me online going, hey, I'm looking for students? If I do that, it's only because I have an empty slot. But it just got to the point where I quit worrying about it, and students just kept coming to me, and they still do. So I'm like, I'm gonna do it as long as they come. And if they don't, if they stop coming to me, then I will stop teaching. But I
I
do believe it's a
hope
God given
kids
thing to
never
do it
stop
to you.
wanting to learn how to play music. I really do.
Right.
They will.
I
It's
hope
part
they
of
always want to learn how to play
soul.
fucking music.
I think
It's
so. I
instinctive.
mean, because I mean, we
Music
come
is
out of the
like the
womb.
oldest form of language,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, think about it this way. If are you either one of y'all mothers? You're not moms, are you? Neither one of
No,
you?
I'm not
You are a
Crash.
mom?
I
Okay, I
am a
didn't know.
mother and a grandmother.
Oh wow. I had
I'm
no
a
idea.
favorite auntie.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I have like an 8-year-old granddaughter.
Wow. I always wanted kids, but I haven't had kids. So, and I'm
Oh,
40 now.
they're amazing when they
Getting a
get
little
older.
old. Yeah, I'm sure. But my point was, I forget what my point was now. I'm like, what were we talking about?
About children,
Oh,
are any of
oh, yeah,
us?
yeah, yeah. Okay, this is really important. From the moment you are born, you have a heartbeat, and that heartbeat is keeping a rhythm, and it's a steady rhythm at a certain pace, like 120 beats per minute. And if you lose that beat and that internal rhythm, you are no longer here, and that is passed through your mother. So, as far as I'm concerned, from the moment you're born, you're a musician, and you also have a
Yeah.
voice where you can sing, and that's God
Yeah.
given, and that's or whatever you want to call the grand spirit of whatever you believe in.
You have hands
Like,
that can like
you know
make
what
a
I'm
beat.
saying? So I think kids are all, and what kid doesn't want to play drums, man? I mean, come on, they're the
Right.
coolest
Right?
instrument.
They
They're the
do it
coolest
at the
instrument.
very young age with their pots and the pans and
Hmm.
Yes.
the
It's
wooden
natural,
spoons, the smacking the shit out of stuff, driving your parents
right?
crazy. Here's the lid,
Right. I
symbols.
did my mom the same way.
Oh
I
yeah.
was doing that today. I was in, practicing and probably driving
Oh
people nuts.
yes.
Yeah, I've got my practice pad. I don't know if y'all can see, but I've got my little practice pad right here. And, I
Oh,
just
Yay.
good.
sit and,
That's cool.
yeah, sit and do my little practices.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm still getting those
Yes.
doubles. Those doubles.
Yeah.
Tapping drums in school. We all did that too.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Pencil
Yeah.
tapping drums in school. I
I would
still do that.
tap on my bed frame to fall asleep. I would make beats when I was a kid on
Yeah.
my bed frame. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just natural. It's like, think about it this way
I
too.
would play like
The kid
here,
is
like
born. That's the best practice you can get because it's really about the muscle memory. So if you can get it
Yes.
here, I've been doing a lot of flam accents lately. We can
That's
talk about rudiments and stuff. What I'm going over with Jen because that's really, I would think, be fascinating to drummers. Oh, I
yeah.
haven't looked at the comments, so y'all keep me up. I can't, for some reason, it's not letting me look at the comments while I'm doing this video. It like
are
takes me
you
out
on
of the
your
video.
phone?
Yes.
Someone
That's
requested
why.
more music. I was going to ask if we should
Ooh.
showcase the Neon Angels on
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Did you
I
want
want
to
you to
do?
throw
I
up
got.
home.
You do
I,
it.
hey, I've got it. I've got it. So I'll bring up home for you.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
So this project is a project not started by me. They were looking for a female drummer. It's started by a drummer and another female, Lisa and Teresa, and they've been writing original music for a long time. I love the original music scene. I always have. I love to write stuff. So they were doing this project. Now, I knew nothing about really any of it until I heard the song. And then I thought, wow, I really love this. And then when we went down to film the video, which is filmed in Nashville at a music recording studio and on at a park, when I saw the final, it was really amazing. I was really impressed with it, and we've gotten a really great amount of feedback on it as far as views and hits online.
Hell yeah.
It's
I think it's
called
pretty
Home.
amazing. I'm excited to share it. So here's the Neon Angels Home.
Since I've been gone, can't seem to find my way home. Can't seem to find my way. You came along, tried to make it all seem okay. You came along, yes you did. Life happens fast, knocks you on your ass. Day after day after day, just keep moving on. Maybe put it in a song, just like this. I wanna go home, wanna go home. Take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home. Now here we are, we've come so far. I'll follow you, but don't lead me astray. Why can't you see what's happening to me? Try not to keep the banner away. I wanna go home, wanna go home. Take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home. The sky opened up and showed what I wants me to know, but I still don't know what to expect about what's next. Wanna go home, wanna go home. Take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home. Since I've been gone, can't seem to find my way.
It's powerful.
I really love that,
It's
and I
really
love that her
powerful.
hair looks like the Heat Miser.
Me too. I love her
Yes.
hair.
Yes.
Oh my
And by the
gosh.
way, that was me walking. I was like, that's the first video I've walked in.
Yes.
If you
Yay!
notice,
I
I'm
knew
really
it.
slow
I
walk,
knew it.
and my hair is down, so you probably can't even tell which one I am.
It took me a second. Like I was like, wait.
I know
Was
it's so
that
weird.
Jen?
When I put my hair down, people just don't know who I am. I have a
It's the
lot of hair.
bandana
It's
though.
just up in the
Your
front.
Ooh,
bandana.
lots of
It gave
Yeah.
you away.
By the way,
Yep.
check it out.
Oh yeah,
I got some cool kid lines,
I
star
love
lines, or whatever they call.
Well,
Yeah.
you have a lot
So,
of hair. You have so much hair. It must be nice to like lighten it.
oh my gosh, if I took it down, it would be. It's really long too,
It
and
is.
I have the whole back of it shaved because I have the undercut, which is where all my thickness is. And I mean, I lose chunks of hair every day, and it's so thick. It's like, I'm blessed though. I'm blessed for the hair.
You are
There's a
blessed.
lot of redheads in my fam cell. So, as far as that project though, I don't know where Teresa is. She's supposed to be here tonight. This was her show. I did not mean to
Yeah,
take it over.
I
But
know.
as far as that project, you're going to hear a lot more coming from them and me and us. And it's a collab of a lot of different female musicians, which I got to network with. And I really loved every
That's
single one of them.
awesome.
Yeah. Coming from my background, I completely changed my life and went in a different direction to a different city. So for me, they say it takes about 5 years to really network a city for business and stuff. But I came in and immediately have met a lot of really amazing people. And no offense to Louisville, but they
You are
blow it off
very
the charts
connected.
off
You
of
I'm
the
like,
have.
top.
you got this. Like, what do you mean 5 years? It'll take you like what, less than a year? Like
Shoot, I
5 months.
don't know.
5 months.
Yeah.
Shoot, we'll see. I will say though, very thankful that I got to start with Jim Riley because he has really
Yeah.
changed my playing and the way that I look at playing. And I tell you what, as far as a drummer, I pay so much attention to technique now, to people's neck movements, to their posture when they're behind the kit. All that changed completely for me because we can't re-injure this area if we
Oh.
because there's titanium in there. So it's like
Oh.
there's so many things that I'm having to relearn.
Right.
Oh
Not only
yeah.
that, but I do feel like my brain was affected. If you think about your
Yeah.
spinal cord your spinal cord fluid not flowing for 2 years, I had it in my brain. It's what keeps your brain in your head, right? The fluid,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
it keeps it from getting damaged because it's
Yeah.
your brain's just kind of floating here, and then you have it all the rest of the way down your spinal cord. So mine was cut off here, and I don't know, but lots of things started affecting me different. I lost a lot of memories, and in fact, memory is still coming back. It was almost euphoric when that came back at me. So, it's such a different thing to think about music, and it's completely changed everything when it comes to drumming. The left hand, though, we've been really working that out, and you'll be proud to hear this. They measured my grip. I just started back PT for a third round of physical therapy, and I'm just now able to lift things. So lift weights, as in, even 20 or 30 pounds, but they have this device that you grip, and they can tell your grip
Oh.
strength. And so they grip strength me back this summer, and my right hand was 25 pounds stronger, could pull, than the left could. So 25 pounds is a big difference.
Yeah.
And so I did nothing but take lessons and drum and work on the left side. And so now, a few weeks ago, they measured me again, and there is only a 9 pound difference now between my right side and my left. So they credit that to drumming, and they credit it because
Ah,
that's the only thing I've done
drumming would
differently.
do that. Yes.
Working on my
Yeah.
hands, working on a practice pad
I'm
nonstop,
telling
just
you,
all kinds of
drumming
stuff.
saved my life when I had cancer.
Yeah. Her
I'm
doctor
When
hearing
told
you.
I had
Tell your
cancer,
story. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
so chemo, oh, it's the devil. It's the worst thing I've ever gone through in my whole entire life. It just sucks everything out of you.
Well, I watched my best friend go through it and pass away, so I know a little bit about the chemo stuff, but I can't
Yeah,
imagine having to go through it as a human.
but my thing was trying to stay healthy because I have children and I have a grandchild, so I want to, stay as healthy as I can to be around for as long as I can for
Of
them.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was with Fail Butterfly back then. and
Did you say feral butterfly?
fatal.
Oh, fatal.
Fatal as in death. Fatal butterfly.
Okay. Death butterfly.
So, but feral butterfly is a better word. I like
I
that
like
a
that.
lot. But anyways,
Sounds like a
I
good
was
band
with
name for a
them,
song, though.
and we were trying to get shows together and stuff, and so I was trying to work. We had new band members too, so I was trying to work and get everybody up to speed. And but yeah, that's what got me through cancer. I'm pretty sure because my doctor, my oncologist said, getting behind that kit, you are working your body, which is releasing endorphins, and you have your
Moving.
norepinephrines, and you have your, all the endorphins that you need to really promote healing.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a big proponent now, especially since the surgery, of healing and drumming to heal.
Yeah.
I've always
yes,
felt like that was kind of
it
what I was doing
promotes,
anyway through teaching. Everything.
blood flow.
Really. Brain,
And
constant brain
yes,
action.
muscle memory, and it promotes like muscle groupings. You have your isometric exercises like paradiddles,
Mm-hmm.
both
Paradiddles.
arms and legs, so you get the both tops and bottoms, because you can do paradiddles with double kicks just like you can with your hands.
Yes. So paradiddle.
Or you know what?
You know what I used to do? I would
Opposite
put my
legs
quarter
and
notes.
arms too. That's so hard. That's so hard. Double
Yeah.
kicks
So
with those, left, right,
I
left.
like to talk a lot about the paradiddles because it doesn't matter if it's a right hand or a left foot. If you can do paradiddles with your feet, right, left, right, right. It just depends on
Exactly.
the
And
right.
then alternate
You
them
cut
with
your
your
body in
arms.
half,
Your
and it's
feet
your
and
right side
arms. It's
versus your left
fucking
side.
crazy.
Yes, exactly. And when I teach the paradiddles, when I'm behind like a kid and stuff, I like to teach them in quarter notes. You start them in quarter notes, right?
Yeah.
And then you can do 2 sets of each. Obviously, every right you want a left version, and then you do it as 8 notes, right? And then you do it as 16th note, and then 30 seconds. You can notice that left is struggle bus. But
Oh, didn't notice at all, but I know that you felt it, because
I do.
you're still healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been working a lot on double paradiddles. I think that a lot of people don't realize, but like a third of your rudiment chart is made up of paradiddles. In
Mhm.
fact, you could break it down into about 3 different categories: flams, paradiddles, and then drags. Technically, your double strokes. So, getting into your double stroke rolls, that takes up a third of your chart. And then you've got the hybrid rudiments now that everybody likes to talk about.
Yeah.
But every time that I go back from the moment I'm a teacher, but I'm always a student, and I
Yeah,
love
right.
being a student. I got to go back to become a student this year in drums or last year.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about when I moved. Then I got to study under Jim Riley, and he's a Belmont University drum set professor. But he's also the drummer of Rascal Flatts, if you've ever heard of them. They're country, but
Yes.
they're really a great rock band. And if you have not heard their cover, it's on the Cars. You remember the movie The Cars or Cars from
Yes.
Disney? It's
Yes.
okay. So they got picked up and did a cover of Life is a Highway on that.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the
Yeah.
drums on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that drummer is my drum professor, and so I've been studying under him for over a year now. And so when I
Nice.
say Jim,
That's cool.
that's who I'm talking about. And we're working on my left hand and getting different things, getting different patterns and working on that left hand because it is such a difference because of the surgery. Yeah. And when it comes to the paradiddles, obviously they involve lefts and rights.
Yeah,
if
they
you think
do.
about it, you only have a right or left and you only have 4 limbs. So
Yep.
it's just different combinations of that, whether it be linear or nonlinear,
Yes.
I love being a student under Jim. And then I also am still a teacher, so I
Yes.
can provide.
Yes.
I love that
makes me
you
think
get
of-
to teach children what you learn
Oh, that's
from
so
your
cool.
fucking teacher.
Exactly.
Yep.
By the way, I
You're
want to give a
paying it
shout out.
forward.
Full circle.
One of my students is in a band called White Reaper. White
Nice.
Reaper.
I love that name.
And they just put out yesterday, they're going on tour with Modest Mouse and Weezer. So I do have a
Oh,
thing
so
doing
here's
it.
the sad thing about my friend from Modest Mouse. He was the drummer.
Oh, really? That's wild.
Yes. He passed away.
I
I
did
don't
not
know.
know that.
Yeah.
Interesting connection, right? Well, this would be a band that's supposedly on tour with a whole
So
lineup
yeah, no,
of folks from
they have.
this band.
He's been replaced. He's been replaced for quite some time now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he just recently passed away. I believe last month.
Wow. I had no idea. Sorry, I wouldn't even have brought it up.
So no. I think that's
Awkward.
awesome that Modest Mouse
Yeah.
is going on. There's
It's
still
right.
you
Well,
can't.
man, when you're a band like that, it's like, I don't know. I have different feelings about it, but
You gotta, the show must go on. I'm sorry, but the show must go on.
exactly. And
Me and
Yeah.
Maxine,
other
we have a
musicians
pact.
can still make money that way,
Yeah,
and
we
still
do.
support the
It was a
families.
hard pact. It was a hard
It
pact.
was a hard pact.
We lost a friend in our music community at the beginning of the year, and we talked about that like while we were grieving losing our friend.
Mhm.
It just came up like, what should musicians hang out do if one of us is
Mhm.
no longer
Oh.
in this part of the universe? And we both
Mhm.
honored that. We would just keep it going.
Yep,
Yeah, I love that.
that's how
Oh,
you
Yeah, I
honor
love that you made a
us.
pact.
Yeah.
And then if you look at also in a way, because I see both sides of the coin with it, as a band like Modest Mouse, now I couldn't probably tell you every person in Modest Mouse, but no offense to
I know
Modest Mouse,
Jeremiah
it's just I
Green.
don't right, I don't know their personal names. But now as far as like a band like Led Zeppelin, when they lost, Bonham, he was the founder and the creator, and they didn't feel like they could continue without his presence. I also kind of get that too.
Yeah, I
You
get
know what I
that.
mean? And the only time
Yeah.
that they have gotten together and played was if it was with his son. And I love that.
Yeah, I respect that.
Mhm.
Me too. But I see both sides of the coin. They could hire any famous drummer to come in and drum for them and still go on tour and make a ton of money. At this
Oh,
point,
yeah.
I don't think Led Zeppelin
They
needs
could have
money.
found a drummer who would have
Yeah.
played the songs just like Bonham could
Hmm.
to honor
Yeah.
Bonham's memory.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's definitely, drummers out there that would feel honored to do
You
that.
know,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, they're not going to make any new music without Bonham. So,
Jen, you had a question in the comments. Can we
Oh,
find
yeah.
that song? They were, I believe, meaning the last song, "Home" on Spotify.
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I don't know if she dropped that on Spotify. I would assume she did. I haven't looked, but you can find it on YouTube. And I know Vivo, the video platforms. I was trying to think about the audio platforms. If I'm not mistaken, I think she dropped that on Apple and all of the streaming platforms. If so, I'll try to post a link later if I can find out. I
Perfect.
wish she
Yeah,
was
that's
here
great.
to tell us, because she's the lead in that, and I'm just coming in as a drummer in that project. So I have a lot of my own other projects, but
Yes, you have a lot of
as
projects.
musicians,
Mhm.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, you could always throw up a Kentucky Beatnik video. We've got the Revolution Don't Come for Free, which is one of my faves. And then, I'm still playing with Nick. He's in Louisville.
Oh,
I
nice.
am not in Louisville anymore. We are
Yay!
still making music. I love my Mr. Nick. We are like lifers.
Nick
Oh, I
has
love that.
And he
Nick
will
has
always
been
be
a
with me.
supporter of us for a long time too. Shout out to
Nick
Nick.
is awesome. Nick is awesome. I've known him for
That
years,
plays
and
all the
he
time. I
is
go
like
in.
my brother.
Sorry,
He's
guys.
my brother, and I want to just give him a shout out because he is an amazing musician.
Heck yeah.
And an amazing writer, and so soulful, and he's so sensitive. I feel like I need to protect him all the time, because he is sensitive, and it comes out in his music, and he's just an amazing dude. So I love him so much. I talk to him almost every day.
Well, kids.
We were talking about the Kentucky Beatniks.
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah.
I got it.
All right. I would do the Revolution Don't Come for Free, and I'll kind of intro that about what you're about to see. If you don't know anything about Louisville, Kentucky, we were highly spotlighted on a national forefront during the Breonna Taylor case. And there were a lot of protests going on. That's the COVID hustle. Now, you can show that one too. That's a funny one.
Oh,
But the
I meant to.
revolution one,
Sorry. Hold on.
yeah,
We'll go back.
You're good. Look for the revolution don't come for free. The Kentucky Fried
Revolution. Come on. You guys can all see it too. Sorry, guys.
I know. I'm trying to build up my YouTube. And
Hey,
get it
there
all
we
figured
are.
out. Okay, so about this video you're about to see, during COVID, not only did we have to deal with the shutdown, but we had to deal with the Breonna Taylor case, which was a huge case
I'm
of
not
a girl who got
sorry,
killed
friends.
by
Was that it?
police
Shoot,
in
go back.
our city, and there were
There we go.
riots and all kinds of protests and all kinds of stuff going on. So me and Nick wanted to write a song that was healing. It was his idea, and I thought, what a brilliant way, because everybody was really hurting in our area, not only from the COVID shutdown, but from all the the protests that were going on, and just everything was a lot, during 2020. So we
It was
decided to I was not allowed to go. I mean, I was allowed to go, but I couldn't go to any of these events because of my health at the time. I couldn't walk, so I couldn't, be in big crowds of people that were protesting things and whatnot. So, but Nick did. And Nick got a lot of video footage from that. And he wanted to take the footage and make this track. And we also decided um, that we wanted to put Sanskrit in this song. I don't know if you know what Sanskrit is, but Sanskrit is one of the oldest mantra chants
Yeah.
that is vocals, and it's said to raise your vibration. And so it's a healing thing. It talks a lot about Hare Krishna and, all kinds of really cool things. It's kind of, I call it a holy roller casserole, which we kind of both are. He and I both born in the Christian church. He was Pentecostal, got kicked out of the Pentecostal church when he was younger. And we both love the Buddhist teachings, and there's a lot of teachings in different religions that we really love, that when they and so we call ourselves a holy roller casserole. We wanted to kind of include healing stuff in it, so I did a whole Middle Eastern drum breakdown, and he does Sanskrit in the middle of this song as a healing aspect. So I think you'll enjoy it. But this is about what we experienced in Louisville, Kentucky during those times, and the video footage is of the protests.
It is
Excellent.
so good.
Wait, let's roll it.
Here we go.
Blue sky, where have you gone? Where have you gone? It's raining on my people, and it looks like they gonna drown. Drowning down here. You kill the prophets and those sent to you. Free all of my people, 'cause you won't be holding us down. Revolution don't come for free. The 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 revolution don't come for free. We have a duty to be free. We have a duty to be free. Go be the change that you want to see. Go be the change that you want to see. We have a duty to be free. We have a duty to be free. Go be the change that you want to see. Go be the change that you want to see. Now lock us up for speaking the peace. You can't lock us up for speaking the peace. In the morning we shall be free. In the morning we shall be free. And lock us up for speaking the peace. You can't lock us up for speaking the peace. In the morning we shall be free. In the morning we shall be free. Revolution don't come for free. The 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 The revolution don't come for free. The revolution don't come for free. Blood running down the leaves. Blood running down the leaves. Like racism on our family tree. Like racism on our family tree. Blood running down the streets. Blood running down the streets. Like racism on our family tree. Like racism on our family tree. Yeah, the change is coming over me. Sing it, change is coming over me. One love in humanity. One love in humanity. Change is coming over me. Change is coming over me. One love in humanity. One love in humanity. Hands up, hands up. Speak out, speak out. Show up, show up. Live proud, live proud. Hands up, hands up. Speak out, speak out. Show up, show up. Live proud, live proud. Sing it. Radhe Govinda Jaya, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda Jaya, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda Jaya, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Govinda Jaya, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama. No justice, no peace. You are the light for the world to see. No justice, no peace. You are the light for the world to see. No justice, no peace. You are the light for the world to see. No justice, no peace. You are the light for the world to see. Free. Set my people free. Free, free, free. In the cage, but we hold the key. Free. Set my people free. Free, 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 free. We're in the cage, but we hold the key.
Welcome back.
Hey, oh my gosh. Kentucky Beatniks. So good.
All right.
Yeah, and we have a lot of other tracks out. You can definitely find us on Spotify. Kentucky Beatniks, and it's spelled Beatniks.
Hey,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jen, for being on tonight.
Thanks for having me. We meant to have other people here. This is not supposed to be my show.
it happens.
It happens.
We can always have the other ladies on at another
Absolutely.
time.
Well,
We're
yeah,
starting
no
the book
problem.
for season 12, so we'll
Okay.
stay in touch. And maybe they had some technical difficulties and couldn't, like we totally
Well, I
understand.
do know. Yeah, I was going to say Teresa's. I know she had just had a family death, and she was going to Texas at some point. So there has been a lot of stuff going on.
I get
but
that.
I did. Yeah. I was going to say though, since we're on this whole journey of my music career, it seems like
Yes.
I can't get any farther with Nick Payne, my duo in Kentucky Beatniks, without talking about the Troubadours of Divine Bliss, who I've drummed with for a long time. And they led us together, kind of. I wanted to tell you, I was coming out of the whole losing Beverly McClellan thing, and I was very sad. And I just lost my super creative music partner that
Yeah.
I loved making music and writing music with. And we were in the process of recording. We had 26 tracks started when she died. So I didn't know what in the world to do with those tracks. I was like, I have to finish them, but
Yeah.
I was the producer on them and the recorder on them, and was like, man, that was kind of hard to deal with your best friend, after she's gone, died of cancer, to sit there and listen and edit all of her work, and it wasn't finished. So I also didn't
That
know,
would be
should I
hard.
finish it or should I just leave it the way it is, which I did. I left it the way it was. I
Uh-huh.
just went in and mixed it basically from what we had and picked what we had best. So if you listen to some of the Hillbilly Swagger stuff on, by the way, I wanted to preface it with this too. We're on
Yeah.
Spotify, Hillbilly Swagger, but there were like 16 tracks that had certain samples in them. Not samples, it was just us sampling, other people. So I didn't get any of the rights to any of that stuff. So therefore, I could not put that on streaming services. But what I did do is I put it
Okay.
on YouTube for free, and I put it on Bandcamp for free. So if you go to Bandcamp and look up any of the Hillbilly Swagger stuff, which all of our 26 tracks are there, and they're all brilliant. They're all different styles of music. If you put in zero for the dollars, you get it for free. I would never charge anybody. I didn't want to make any money off of Hillbilly Swagger after her death, and I felt that it wasn't right to do that. So, but
Oh,
I wanted people to hear it,
and honor
and
that.
so
Sure.
in honor of her, yeah. So if you go to YouTube, you can find all the stuff on YouTube because you can't put it up on that without, having mechanical right issues and all that stuff as long as you're
Gotcha.
not selling it.
Yeah.
So I'm not selling any of it, but it is up on Spotify, and all those streaming platforms and whatnot. And there are a total of 26 tracks. So I think on Spotify
Wow.
we dropped like 12 or 13. And then on YouTube, you can go and find the playlists
That's
that I've
great.
made
We
on
will
mine.
we will send our people that way. We'll go check it out.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
Hillbilly Swagger. It's one of my favorite projects I've ever done, and we had
that's
so
cool.
much fun. It was the last 6 years of her life that we got to record, and we were having the best time of our lives. I mean, we just decided there was no box. We were not going to follow any genre. We
Yeah.
were going to write about girls that we were, that were giving us problems, and we were going to drop a trailer on
Yes.
people, and we were just saying the
I
craziest
love
stuff, and Bev, was a blues artist, mostly came out of the church, but she could play anything. She was also a rocker and a lot more classic rock, and me too. And so we just had all these different influences, and I would try to make her rap, and she would try to make me do something crazy. And then, one track would be a church track, and the next track would be dropping the F bomb, and then, then we'd do
Yes.
a country track and or a blues track or something that didn't have drum. She was always trying to get me out of my box. So I love that
That's
as
cool.
I
as
bet you
someone
like
who
that.
didn't have as much experience as she did songwriting,
Yeah.
'cause songwriting was never my like forte. It wasn't my strong spot, I should say, but it was hers. And she could do all this like emotional songwriting.
Yeah.
I'm more comedy songwriting or F the
So it
world
was a
kind of
good
thing.
balance. I get that. We're a good
Yeah,
balance.
it was a good balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. So we kind of, after her death, it was hard. I took a couple years. Obviously, I was going through my injury. I didn't know it at the time, though. And then, of course, I had my home bass player in my band for 15 years. The cover band got tragically killed in a car wreck about 6 months after Bev. So I lost two of my very close musicians. I'd
That's so
played with
much.
Sue Riley longer than Bev. I played with
Yeah,
her for
that's
15
a
years in
lot.
multiple projects. So one of the projects that me and Sue had played on, and check this out. There's a track that I dropped of Beverly McClellan's. It's called Living Room. It was one of my favorite songs by Bev, and it was her original song. I had nothing to do with it,
That's
but
cool.
I wanted to record that track, and that's why we started
Oh,
our friendship. Is I wanted to get a copy for her of that song recorded because I told her it was her hit, and I said, "It's your hit. It's awesome. It's blues. It's everybody will sing this. It's called Ain't No Worries in My Living Room." And so, um, we got a portion of that recorded, and that was one of the last ones I dropped. And I used bass by Sue Riley played bass on. So
wow.
everybody that's on that track other than me is dead now. And when I go back and listen to it, I'm just like, whoa, it just gives it a whole
That's
different perspective.
crazy.
I
But
had
Yeah.
put my
your
bass
music
player
lives
on
on
tracks
with you.
Bev.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
then they both died within 6 to 8 months of each other.
That's
Tragically. And
super sad.
I had played
That
with
is
Sue for
really
like 15
sad.
years, and I played with Bev for 6.
Well, I'm glad that
Yeah.
you still honor them, and we will too.
Yes.
Yeah,
I did want to mention that we are out of time, and
yeah,
we're gonna sign out, Jen. And we had such
sounds
a
good.
great time with you. We got to have you back.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
anytime. And check out
absolutely.
those
You just have
Troubadours of
so
Divine
much
Bliss.
part of your
Get the
journey.
rest of those angels on here.
Yes.
I want to. Yes, we want to.
I felt like
Thank y'all for
Bosley
having
the
me
other
on. I
morning when
really
I'm like,
appreciate
"Good
you.
morning, neon angels."
I love that.
I wanted to be like, "Good morning,
I did
angels."
too.
Senator
Yes.
Bosley. voice.
Good morning, angels. Yes, exactly. That project is a cool project. You'll see us. We're going to be out touring around April, end of April, down
Oh,
around
yes.
Tennessee, Knoxville.
Cool.
I'll keep you updated.
Keep us
Please.
posted because we have fans everywhere, and we will get people at your show.
Yes,
Well,
and I will chop some of these little segments up and put them online for y'all later
please
on.
do.
And
Yes.
we'll let people go back and share it on YouTube. And by the way, go to my YouTube, it's Jen Yates, JYNYATES. It's I've got everything. The Jen Yates, just look up Jen Yates drummer, you'll find all my stuff. So I've got my own solo stuff on Bandcamp. All my stuff is on Spotify. You can look up Jen Yates on Spotify, whatever.
Well, you are
Do it all.
huge on Instagram.
Yes.
Huge.
Thanks. I'm
Yeah.
working on it.
We just
You got
started.
it, girl.
We just started ours, so
Yeah. Well,
We're
I
gonna-
will tag y'all in the little
Hey.
videos. I'll chop up some of these videos
Yes.
and I put them up in like little 1 to 2 minute snippets and stuff like that
cool. Thank you.
on Instagram because I think people tune out after a while. They really
Yeah,
want to just see
Instagram doesn't
somebody
allow
cool.
for very long either, but it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
promotional
exactly.
place. I'm digging it so
Exactly. No, I'm digging it. I really love the Instagram platform, and I really did love Twitter, but that's kind of taking the downfall. But
I won't
yeah,
go to Twitter.
Instagram's.
Not
Yeah,
going
I'm
down
kind of
this
the
rabbit
same
hole.
way.
Nope.
I'm kind of the same way.
Mm-mm.
Well, by the way, you'll love this real quick before I leave. I got banned permanently for Elon Musk said I targeted him because I would tag him in my post. So they banned me permanently.
Oh
They
my
did,
god.
and now I'm not. And I had like 15,000 people on there. I was like, screw
Jeez.
y'all, and they will not bring me back on at
That's
all. They can't
hilarious.
do it. So I'm just like, whatever, dude.
That
Elon,
is
we liked it
Take
before.
it, Elon Musk.
Thank you, Jen. Always a pleasure to
You're
have you.
welcome.
We will have you
Bye,
back.
ladies. Thank
Yes.
y'all so
I'll
much for
take us
tuning in.
out.
And
Thank
find me on
you.
social.
And thank you all for joining us tonight. Stay tuned next week. We will be back.
All right, here we go.
Maxine.
Hey, everybody. Good night. We love you. Thanks again, Jen. We'll have all of the Neon Angels on
Yep.
eventually. Stay tuned.